a considerable period of your life with the belief which we expressed right now. So now to conclude this interview, could you please tell us, how do you feel in coexisting in this world, in this information world, which is so different from your perception?
Yes, it's a difficult world, difficult time that all of us are passing through.
And this is an information world, and you are not very tech-savvy person.
No, not at all.
You still don't use smartphones.
No.
You even don't know how to do computer DTP or of your own. But still you are existing. So how do you coexist?
You see, democracy is not unflawed. It has its deficiencies. But you see, why do you think many right-thinking, right-intentioned people still have some faith in democracy? Because all the other systems of governance, political systems of governance, have been tried out and have been found to be wanting. So, it is flawed, but this is a kind of a necessary evil, democracy. Because everything else has been tried out, and comparing to the other systems, this is the one that at least gives some amount of hope to man.
Bourgeois democracy.
Yeah, naturally, because revolutionary democracy is the utopia of all utopias. We need utopias to survive, but that we don't have to go to that level in order to live a somewhat decent life. Now, why do I say this? Existence, individuals exist. We are all existing at our different levels according to our perceptions of our needs, our requirements, our beliefs. I exist, or rather, I don't know whether I'm fooling myself, but I'm quite happy with not being conversant with gadgets that I find 5-year-olds, 7-year-olds, they can make sense of what they're holding in their hand. And some years ago, I would think that these young people have all become mad or what. I find a girl or a boy laughing and talking to himself or herself while going by. So I put it to somebody, a friend of my age, who knows a lot of things, which I don't. He said, "You are the limit." They have something, and they are talking to somebody somewhere. So, yeah, something, that, and I won't explain it to you, he told me, because you are unteachable. I said, I wish to remain untaught. There is great charm in old-fashionedness. So, old-fashionedness, values of a world gone by, where if I found you to be better than me, I would, as a common human being, entertain envy in my heart, but not jealousy. You get that? There's a world of difference between envy and jealousy. Envy means, oh my, Basu can speak so well, so that there is a certain regret that I'm not as good as him. Why not try to be as good as him, if not better? Jealousy is negative. It consumes you from within. Jealousy overdone leads to cynicism. Everything is bad. Anybody who is superior to me is bad. I know. So this kind of thing. So envy is an old-fashioned emotion, sentiment. Jealousy is of more recent origin. I like to think of this way. Now you can say it is there, I think both are there in the epics also. There must be. I'm not a master of the epics. But whatever little I have read of the Old Testament, because as I told you, I went to a missionary school, and the New Testament, there are almost two different texts actually. There are, I can see things happening over there. There's envy and all. So even in my state of incompleteness, according to very young people here who appear to know a lot of things due to this and that and all the appliances and all that, they have information. They have information, a surfeit of information out of which they do not know what to make of that information, or how to discriminate what is I'm to retain and what I'm to throw away. So the world today is a world of information. I like to believe that my father or grandfather's generation, by their actions, by their activities, by often their utterances, which they thought that younger people would take seriously, they had, not all, many of them had knowledge. And a select few among those who were knowledgeable had wisdom. Right? I'm not saying anything new. I'm only just reminding my viewers, and I hope there are some young people among the people who are watching this thing, that there's a hierarchy here. Information, knowledge, wisdom. Wisdom is very rare. The farmer working in the field, the worker working in the shop floor may not have gone beyond high school or not even that. But suddenly he comes up with some observation. Right? He's a wise person. He has actually imbibed the lessons of life. He has a politics of life, which I was talking to you earlier. He has come to know about it through his failures, occasional success, but frequent failures. He has actually become a wise man. So how do I feel living in this world now? Let me tell you one thing. I feel that before I lose faith in the young, let me put a rope around my neck and hang myself. I have so much faith in hope, that most persistent, insistent, and hopeless emotion, sentiment, hope. Hope in the bitterest situation is the only remedy, only medicine that you have to see you out of the dark woods and usher you into the first light of dawn. So, even as I am critical, as I have been about the young, I've also said that they have been led astray by their wayward parents. A very important quotation I remember. Cyril Connolly, he was a big literary critic, post-World War II, British. He said once, "Our children are bad because we, their parents, are worse." That keeps on reminding me, don't blame the children. Don't blame the young. What kind of an example have we set for them to emulate? What kind of example is the seedy, dirty, selfish, self-seeking, grasping example? Have we ever told them to share with people? Have we ever told them that you must not speak in that tone to the domestic help? Have we told them ever that keep the daily newspaper. I keep the daily newspaper, and you, my son, or you, my daughter, are not reading it. You are depending on the telly. It is really an idiot box. If it tells you the truth, only the tip of the iceberg. The truth is all hidden in the water. That is all that at best you will get from the television. Newspaper, it may not be perfect, but you get in details things that are happening. Now you can say, but what about the media? It is now referred to as a Godi media, a lapdog media. You have a laptop and you have a lapdog. The young are caught between them. We are also, the middle-aged and the old are also caught between them. Now here is your powers of discrimination. What is fake in the paper and what is real? There are many ways of finding it out. First is powers of imagination. You can imagine that this person, the way he is writing it, he has been bought over by the system. But say it cannot be like this. Joshimath, such a huge natural disaster has occurred there due to the folly and greed of man. Some papers are saying only 100 buildings. Some other paper on which I rely more than on the other paper says at least 1,500 buildings. Cracks of various shapes, sizes, dimensions have appeared. Which are you to believe? But you read the paper, the daily news, and even if you don't read the news, which are often now being published at a cost, I mean,
but when consumption has become the order
of the day, then you go to the center article. You read the editorials and you find out whether the person who is writing this editorial is pro-man or anti-man. You can make it out. The views over there and what are my views on the subject. Am I to rely on the opinion of the leader writer, or am I to depend on my own conscience, on my own intellect, on my own intelligence? What? The choice is mine. I have given myself a choice, a range of choices. But once you are there stuck on the television, you will have to go by that. I go around and talk to people. Do you keep a newspaper? 90% of so-called educated middle-class people, they don't keep newspapers. And if they keep, is to read the sports pages, or the beauty tips page, or the gossip page. Hardly 1% read the editorials or the center page, and what is most important, letters to the editor. That is a very important source of information leading to some kind of knowledge. Someone is writing from Visakhapatnam on the subject, and another person is writing an absolutely divergent view on the same issue from Patna. Someone from Calcutta, from your area. And then you have the choices in front of you. So it is democracy at work. Television doesn't offer you democracy. Even in a badly flawed state, newspapers do. Now, once the institution of newspaper goes out, that is a different matter. But I do, to answer your question, even as I am bewildered, puzzled, confused, I want to live to be 100 at least. That is because I have hope. I have faith. I like to believe that I have a little faith in myself. I have a lot of faith in my fellows of my age. And the repository of the greatest faith is the young. If you have lost the young, you have lost everything. When I was a kid, I remember an old uncle telling me, if you lose your wealth, you have lost nothing. In course of time, through application, determination, you can regain your wealth. If you have lost your health at a young age, you have lost something very valuable, because losing your health, you cannot regain that health very fast or soon. If you have lost your character, you have lost everything. But I have something to add to that dead old uncle's observation. By all means, we have to make all the effort to retain our character. And the integral part of that character is that I must not ever lose faith in the young, because they are the citizens of tomorrow. They are not only your old age walking stick, your crutches, but they are a source of animation. And
words,
yeah,
the son of 8 or 9.
Son of 8 or 9. Now, when I come to know that a couple has had a child, you can make out a part of my politics, personal politics from this. I tell them, is it a boy or a girl? Says a girl. I said, I'm very, very happy. Even among this may be simplistic, huh? This may be simplistic, but it's just personal, because I'm going by statistics and my observations around what I'm observing around me. Is it, I've had a boy, and I'm happy. But I feel ecstatic when somebody says that the couple has had a daughter. You know, female of the species, not only do they perpetuate humankind, they have been known to see us out of distress. It is our mothers, our sisters, our daughters, our wives, to whom we have not accorded any credit down the ages for all the great pains they have taken to keep society going in a wholesome manner. It is the girls who are looking after their old parents. Statistically, I go to 10 houses and I find out of 10, 6, 7 of them, the daughters are taking care of their old parents in distress. The boys, meanwhile, 3 of them out of 10, let's say, taking care of them, but after their marriage, they have acquired new parents. Their fathers-in-law, their mothers-in-law become their new fathers and mothers. This is because I think a lot about gender politics. I think about what is the place of a woman in family and in the world. So every time I see a young girl going to school or college, or with a haversack going to do a job, I feel enthusiastic. I feel as if I'm empowered. And a proverb comes back to my mind: the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. It's usually a mother's hand that has traditionally rocked the cradle. There's now no cradle, there are only creches. But the attendants over there are mostly female, because only they have that maternal instinct, maternal love that wants to bring them up in a wholesome manner. Now there are many things that you can say against what I'm saying, and perhaps they would be valid. But overall, I think what I'm saying carries substance. Because we are talking about the other. In India and the world, a woman is the other. The poor is the other. The sick is the other. For the other, this is a rich country. India is not a poor country. India is rich, Pakistan is rich, Burma is rich, the United States is rich, Russia is rich, Ukraine is rich. Every country is rich. Then why this appearance of desolation, of poverty, and the leaders saying, well, there's not enough for you? That is because the government, successive governments, let's say state A or state B, country B, the political class, they have allowed the economic wealth to be cornered by a handful of corporates, rich families, and they in turn, at election time or at other times, they pay back their debt to that. So it is a kind of symbiotic relationship that they have, the moneyed person and the politically voracious person who wants power. He eats power, and this fellow eats money. So they go together. Therefore, there is no money in India for millions of migrant workers during the pandemic. There's no money. But there is money. There is money. You allow people to run away to the United States, you run away to Britain with thousands of crores stolen from Punjab National Bank or that bank or this bank and that bank, and you say you don't have money, and you don't bring them to power, bring them to law. You don't get them arrested and brought back and mete out justice. So don't say that India is poor. No, India is not poor. India is a rich country, majority of whose people are poor because there is not enough in this country. There is enough to feed the greed of the greedy, but not enough to fill the needs of the needy. This is my utopian India. This is my vision of the times that I am passing through. But I want to live. I want to see.
An egalitarian India.
Yeah, of course. Egalitarian. Yeah, of course. I want to eat the same kind of rice. I wish to continue to eat, as long as I live, the same kind of rice that the girl who cooks my lunch eats. Because I know many homes, two kinds of rice were in rice-eating societies, places, regions. Two kinds of rice are cooked. One, the inferior kind, for the girl who is cooking or the boy who is cooking the meal. How can a man be so degenerate? She or he is cooking two types for the lunch, and she's seated on the floor and eating her kind of rice, and she's pouring another kind of rice on your plate seated at the table. No, I don't want to live it. I want to see us having the same kind of rice. There's a small example by which I want to let people know that you must have a sense of politics in everything. Husband and wife both go to work. The husband gets up from bed at his own sweet will. The wife has to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and she has to get the children ready. She has to prepare the breakfast for husband and herself before they leave together for the office, and tiffin boxes for the two of them. When they come back, is it too much to ask that on a few days at least, after they've come back, after they had a wash, the husband should prepare the tea? But no. Again, she has to go and have a wash. She has to make the tea, and the man of the house, with his feet propped up on the glass-top table, takes out from his bag the day's newspaper and spreads it out in front of him. No, that is not the India I would, far-fetched as it may seem, that Tagore wanted, that Gandhi wanted. A whole range of elevated nationalist leaders who brought us our independence wanted. That is not even in the better moments of our parents wanted. They didn't want to give us that kind of lesson, that on the basis of status or whatever, purchasing power, that we should relegate some people to the other permanently. You can't never growing out of that. This is all I have to say.
Thank you so much.
It was very nice talking to you.
Thank you.